Hey guys, so this is part B of the door about a door of a certain adulteress. This is Catullus 67. So we're gonna pick right up and go kind of quickly, I hope. Nunquam never. This is the last partial line that we left off on part A. Nunquam, but never systolit he raised, say himself ad medium tunicum to his mid tunic. We're talking about the son of Balbus. Balbus is the father. He owns this house. Natus is the son, or Natus. US is masculine. It means male having been born. It just means son. So we're talking about Balbus, the older guy, the Natus, his son, and the Natus just got married to the daughter-in-law now. And we are reading all about all of his troubles. So the son couldn't raise himself up to the mid tunic, said, this is where things get crazy and weird, said pater, but the father, dicitur. Remember that we're talking about, in violace, remember that we're talking about a lot about rumors, like he said this happened, and the door himself speaking is spreading rumors. Dicitur, this is actually violace. Let's look at violace first. This is violace, the SSE here, the ASSE. This is an infinitive in the past. This is a perfect infinitive. To have violated. Dicitur, this is passive. That just means is said. So it is said, or in this case, the father. The father, Ilius nati, genitive, of that son, dicitur, is said, violace, to have violated the cubile. And this is neuter, that's why it's an E, but it's accusative. But the father is said to have violated the bed, Ilius nati, of that son. So now we know the son is having trouble, and so the father steps in, and the father violates his bed, the son's bed. Et con scelerace, how was this one translated? And had disgraced, same thing, the ASSE, and had disgraced the miseram domum, the miserable home. And if you look at this picture, you have a word picture. So I'm just looking at these three words. A word picture is fine as a literary device. You have miseram domum, the miserable home. This is like the walls of the home. And then conscelerace is what happened inside the home. It was this terrible, disgraceful act that happened within the miserable home. Sive quod, either because, now we're going to find out the possible reasons. Either because impiamens, these are both nominative, an impious mind or an unholy mind, or, sorry, I knocked that. Either because a wicked mind, flagrabat, babasbat, this is imperfect. This means was burning. Either because this wicked mind was burning, kaiko amore, ablative, with a blind love. Sorry, that's probably making me dizzy. So, or, now the door's still tiny, quod erat, or because iners and natus are nominative here. So there are a couple ways you could translate this part. The iners means unenergetic. Hey guys, so this is part B of the door about a door of a certain adulteress. This is Catullus 67. So we're gonna pick right up and go kind of quickly, I hope. Nunquam never. This is the last partial line that we left off on part A. Nunquam, but never systolit he raised, say himself ad medium tunicum, to his mid tunic. We're talking about the son of Balbus. Balbus is the father. He owns this house. Natus is the son, or Natus. US is masculine. It means male having been born. It just means son. So we're talking about Balbus, the older guy, the Natus, his son, and the Natus just got married to the daughter-in-law now. And we are reading all about all of his troubles. So the son couldn't raise himself up to the mid tunic, said, this is where things get crazy and weird, said pater, but the father. Dicitur, remember that we're talking about, in violace is a verb, remember that we're talking about a lot about rumors, like he said this happened, and the door himself speaking is spreading rumors. Dicitur, this is actually violace. Let's look at violace first. This is violace, the SSE here, the ASSE. This is an infinitive in the past. This is a perfect infinitive. To have violated. Dicitur, this is passive. That just means is said. So it is said, or in this case, the father. The father, Ilius nati, genitive, of that son, Dicitur, is said, violace, to have violated the cubile. And this is neuter, that's why it's an E, but it's accusative. But the father is said to have violated the bed, Ilius nati, of that son. So now we know the son is having trouble, and so the father steps in, and the father violates his bed, the son's bed. Et con scelerace, how was this one translated? And had disgraced, same thing, the ASSE, and had disgraced the miseram domum, the miserable home. And if you look at this picture, you have a word picture. So I'm just looking at these three words. A word picture is fine as a literary device. You have miseram domum, the miserable home. This is like the walls of the home. And then conscelerace is what happened inside the home. It was this terrible, disgraceful act that happened within the miserable home. Sive quod, either because, now we're going to find out the possible reasons. Either because impiamens, these are both nominative, an impious mind or an unholy mind, or, sorry, I knocked that. Either because a wicked mind, flagrabat, babasbat, this is imperfect, this means was burning. Either because this wicked mind was burning, kaiko amore, ablative, with a blind love. Sorry, that's probably making me dizzy. So, or, now the door's still tiny, quod erat, or because iners and natus are nominative here. So there are a couple ways you could translate this part. The iners means unenergetic, or I'm going to say unenergetic, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up Whitaker's words up here. That would have been helpful to you guys, so you didn't have to wait on me looking things up. I just think there's a better helpless, weak, inactive, sluggish, incompetent, stagnant. We're going to say weak. Either because the son was weak, actually that's how we'll translate it, sterile semine, with sterile semine, with sterile semen, with sterile seed. This literally means seed. Obviously this is also where we get the word semen. Because his son remember, wasn't able to raise himself up to the middle of his tunic. Also, he violated the bed because either he was burning with this wicked lust, or because his son was weak with sterile semen. Like, his son couldn't do it. His son wasn't able to produce offspring or even touch his wife sexually. In order that quaerendum unde foret nervosius illud quoposit zonam solare virginianum would be from where, okay, so that I'm gonna say so that a nervosius illud in the IUS here means more. It's like eor or eus, a more strenuous or a more energetic illud thing, we're going to say. Obviously, this is, well, more energetic thing or body part. Querendum would be sought, a thing to be sought, or a thing to be like sought after. They're looking for something that's more energetic. Unde, from where, in order that this more energetic thing would be sought from somewhere. Quod, which posset would be able solvere, to absolve or to loosen or to untie, we'll say loosen, the zonam virginianum. Those are strong accusatives here. The virginal, is it a word? Virginish zone. So it's literally like, if you, I probably shouldn't draw this, but if you like look at a woman's body in this way, like like her zone, that it's literally talking about like we talk about like zones of the earth or something. He's literally talking about a section of her body to resolve her virginal zone. You all probably have a better word than zone. Egregium naras, you tell. Egregium parentum. Oh, okay. So now the door has quit talking. Now the narrator picks up and he says, you're speaking, you tell a story, you are narrating, or you tell. Egregium, this is accusative. Parentum, also accusative. You tell, or you speak of, or you tell of egregium parentum, of a distinguished parent. Mira, I don't know if you can see the long mark, that this is ablative, but these two are ablative, they go together. Mira pietate, with astounding piety. Okay, this is drama, or what is it called? This is irony, right? Another figurative language or poetic figurative device. You tell of a distinguished parent of incredible piety. This is sarcasm. So whenever someone uses sarcasm is a form of irony. So when you're going to talk about literary devices, you're going to use the term irony. Qui, so he's like, oh, you're telling of such a loving parent. Obviously, no, that is not a loving parent. The parent had sex with his son's wife. Qui, who, ipse sui nati minxerit in gramium, who he himself minxerit, we're going to say urinated, in gramium, into the lap, accusative, sui nati, this is genitive, of his own son. He urinated. So this is like figurative. We're going to say this is figurative. Like he he urinated into the lap of his own son. Like, this is a metaphor. You could say that. Or you could also say, that he, I don't want to say that, he, like, emitted himself into the lap area, which is this, which belonged to his own son. So either way, I would probably do it the first way to keep. Atqui non solum hoc dicit se cognitum habere brixia. So brixia is my first nominative in this next little section. And this is, remember, the door is responding again. So Brixia is my nominative. I'm going to start off with her. Brixia is a city or a region in northern Italy. It is also a region of Verona, which actually is where I think Catullus was born or was from, or something like that. So Brixia, atque, and Brixia dicit says, so lots of rumors, right? Lots of like things, rumors are flying. People are saying different things. So people from Brixia, or you can say like Brixia herself. Lexington says, Brixia says, say that she, habere, to have, or says that she herself has, cognitum hoc, this knowledge, or this cognition, this knowledge, non solum, not only. So Brixia says that she has this, not only this knowledge, said, and this said, what am I going to do to show you that these go together? I'm just going to circle them. Said, but, and so not only did she say blah, 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 Brixia, the blah, 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 but also, but blah, 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 she knows something else too. So Brixia, now we're going to talk about Brixia herself. Brixia is supposita, is having been placed, or is located. Let's see, Kuknei, there we go, Kuknei speculi, at the watchtower, having been placed of the watchtower of whatever this place is. Let's see, Cycnean. Okay, so it's just a place. The watchtower of this place, or having been placed of the watchtower of Caecnea, whatever that is, a name, probably of a place. And now we're continuing to talk about Brixia. Flowers cum molli praecurit femine flumine mela. And let's see, the flowers is nominative, and we're going to say that flowers goes with mela, and mela is the name of a river. So I'm going to say that the gender of flowers matches with mela, the name of the river. Let's see. So golden mela, and mela actually means honey or sweet. So it makes sense that this river itself is a little bit golden. Praecurit flows, because you can see like currit means to run. So it runs or it flows. This is where we get the word current. Prae just means like very much. So like it rushes or it flows. Molli flumine, with a soft river, with a gentle current. Okay, take back what I said about praecurit. Praecurit just means flows with a gentle current. And you can see like flawus mela go together, and that can be like the banks of the river. Moli flumine, flowing with a soft current in the middle. Praecurrit is the actual word for flows. So that obviously is a word picture also, or you could also say that this is like A, B, B, A, meaning chiasmus, and the chiasmus shows that, like, gives an image of the river itself, and you kind of have to like justify yourself. Brixia, so we're talking about Brixia again. It seems like the author or the door here really is connected to this place, Brixia. Brixia, where the mater, amata, Brixia, the beloved mother, Veronae mei of my Verona, said, okay, so not only does Brixia say that she knows all of these things, sketchy things, but she also says that, or she also, narat, she also speaks or tells a story or narrates or says, de postumio, about Postumius, this is a guy, amore, so about the Postumian amor, love, Corneli, of Cornelius, et Corneli, and of Cornelius, and about the love of Cornelius. Okay, so now we're getting news from far away about a guy named Postumius and a guy named Cornelius, and about his love and about his love. And we're realizing that these guys are actually loving the girl, the supposedly virgin wife, who was not actually a virgin at all. Cum quibusilla malum fecit adulterium. Cum quibus, with whom, and that's plural, so with these two guys, with whom illa, she, the infamous she, fecit, made a malum adulterium, a bad adultery. Dixerit hic aliquis. And here, I actually don't know if this is the door still talking, but the door talking as someone else, or if it's the narrator again saying like, but someone would say, but here you go. Hic, here, or here, that now, hic, I'm going to say here. Here, aliquis, someone, dixerit, might say. So actually, I am going to take off that the door is speaking here, and I'm just going to make that this is like regular narrator speaking. You can say the narrator is Catullus or just the narrator himself. What? Tu istaik? Janua nosti? You? Nosti? You knew? This is a syncopation of the isti is kind of like syncopated and disappears, kind of falls out to make the word shorter. I don't even know if you can see that, to make the word shorter. But you yourself, but not you yourself, but you, door, knew these things. I think means these things. Yeah. But you, O door, knew these things. Cui, the door, to whom Liget, it is allowed, numquam, never, abesse, to be away, limine, from the threshold, domini, of the master. So this is genitive, and this is ablative, from the threshold, genitive of the master. Nec auscultare, this is your regular infinitive, nor to hear, or to overhear, the populum, the population, like the general people out there. Okay, listen, door, how do you know all these things? Someone might say, door, how do you know all these things? You can't even leave to see what happens. You can't even go out to the public and listen to the people talking. Said hic, but here, suffixa is feminine. We're talking about the door, but soles, you are accustomed. you are accustomed, you who are affixed, tigilo, to the post. I think the word is post. Let's look it up real quick. To the post, yeah, or bar of wood. Tantum operire, just to close out, or aperire, or to open the domum, the house. You're only, listen, you're a door. You literally are affixed to a post and shut and open. Aperire looks like the word appear, and that's how you can remember that word means to open. Saipe ilam audiwi, and now we're going back to the door is speaking, and the door speaks for the rest of the time. Saipe ilam audiwi. Often I heard her, so this is accusative am, her loquentum, speaking, the ns, do you see the ns and t equals ing? Often I heard the speaking woman or the speaking adulteress, furtiva woke, in a furtive secret voice. And you can also do this ABBA chiasmus, and the voice is coming from the inner, like coming from the woman herself. So the woman who is talking, the voice is like inside of her and like coming from her mouth, you know, coming from her speaking. Solam, I often heard her, solam, alone, cum anchilis, with her female servants. And here we know that Ancilla is not like a voluntary servant, that she is an enslaved person. Hike, and they were saying loquentum, hike is the accusative of the participle. So like, often I heard her speaking in a furtive voice or in a secret voice, solemn, alone, speaking these things, hike. With her maidservants, sua flagetia, with her own yearning, with her own shame, JK, with her own shame, with her own scandal, with her own disgrace. So the girl, the daughter-in-law / wife, is secretly whispering about all the guys that she's been with to the female servants, and the door happens to overhear these things. Nomine dicintem quos diximus. Nomine dicintem, the she, loquentum, the girl, is saying, nomine, by name, ablative, by name, quos, those people whom, the Q use a question word, whom diximus, we named, or those people whom we spoke of. And those people are Postumius and Cornelius. Ut pote, oh sorry, I keep knocking the phone and it's like shame. Namely, quae me speraret nec linguam esse nec auriculum. Or as quae she who speraret, this is subjunctive imperfect, she who, when she, let's see, she who was hoping, or she who hoped, nec linguam esse nec auriculum me, and me is short for mihi. This is actually dative, to or for me. Okay, so as she was hoping these things, that nec linguam esse, neither a tongue, nec auriculum, nor a little ear, esse, to be mihi, for me. She was hoping that I didn't have a tongue or an ear. However, I'm a door, but I do have an ear, and I hear all the gossip that you talk about, and I see all the things that have happened back here. And linguam, I also have a tongue, meaning I can spread the rumor about you. Praeterea arabat. And these last 4 lines, I don't know. I know that, whatever, I'm not an expert, but I feel like these last 4 lines are like not even, I don't know that they fit with the entire narrative of the poem, but I guess kind of they do, because the door is like, hey, in addition, also, there's this other guy, that I'm going to speak a rumor about too. And maybe the purpose of that is because it like goes on and on with rumor. Like this whole thing is a giant rumor, and the rumor mill kind of never stops. Adebat, praeterea, and beyond that, adebat, she was adding, or she used to add on, or she used to tell the story. She was adding on, she was continuing. Quindam, quim dicere nolo nomine, quindam, oh yeah, that this guy, now this is accusative, but adebat, and now we're back into story mode. And but beyond that, she was adding that this guy, whom nolo dicere, I don't want dicere to name, or I don't want to say by name, nomine, nay, lest tolat, lest he raise his rubra supercilia. So these are accusative, neuter plural, his red eyebrows. I forgot the English word for eyebrows. Okay, so there's another rumor that the girl was saying, and the next rumor is going to be about this guy with red eyebrows. But maybe he's an important person or famous person, because the door doesn't even want to mention him by name, but he kind of does mention him by description, like it's the important guy with red eyebrows. Let's continue. Lest he raises red eyebrows. Longus homo est, he is a homo longus, a long man. You can literally just leave it as long man and have that sexual innuendo, or you can translate it as a tall man. Rubra supercilia longus homo est, cui, for whom, intulit, she accused or brought in a, let's say, magnas lites, for whom she brought in, or she accused, a huge lawsuit, lites, like litigation, or huge lawsuits. Is that a good way to translate that? Yeah, or huge quarrels or huge lawsuits. Olim, once. Mindaki wintre is ablative, falsum, puerperium. She brought in a false pregnancy. You can see the word puer in here. So like a boyhood, like being born. Mindaki wintre, with a lying, or by a lying wintre stomach. So the story goes, supposedly, and I'm looking in the book really quickly. A lot of notes in the book. A chiasmus ends the poem, which is A, B, B, A. You see those go together. Combining stylistic elegance with a sordid scandal, an unnamed woman sued this unnamed man by faking a pregnancy. So yeah, I don't know if, it seems to me, okay, the book is saying that it's just a random woman. It seems to me that the woman actually was the wife herself, because the whole story is about the wife. However, I don't know that that's true. You could also say that it's just a random woman. Okay, guys, you did great. Super sorry that was so long, but hopefully you will not have, that is the second longest poem, and you've already finished the longest. So good job, guys. See you.